So a lot of people ask us, what is it that we need with a gun safe? Is there fire rating, burglar rating, size? There's a lot of questions we're going to try to answer right now.
First question on the list, when a manufacturer says a safe can hold X amount of guns, what does that actually mean?
Well, it'd be great if it actually meant if it's made for 60 guns, it would hold 60 guns. In reality, no. All guns are different sizes. Some are bigger than others. If it was, a 22 caliber rifle, maybe they would fit. But most of the time, we take that number and either go in half or 3/4 of it.
Are there any manufacturers that actually meet that rifle capacity or come close?
Not usually, no.
Browning's pretty close.
Are they?
I've seen them at SHOT Show. They'll have like an SR-33 and they'll have 33 guns in it. So
Nice.
I guess possible. What are the pros and cons of digital locks?
So pros of digital lock is quick and ease of getting into it. You can also change that combination at any time. It does take a 9-volt battery. The better, which are the UL approved electronic locks, are really good and very popular.
Would you ever recommend a biometric lock?
I would. As we get older, our fingerprints have problems reading, but if I had a biometric or recommended one, I would want at least one or two other options to be able to get into it.
Like a keypad backup as well, or a key
Or even
backup?
a key option as well, yes.
All right. What happens if your batteries die on an electronic lock?
Easy. It's usually on the back of the lock itself, 1 or 2 9-volt batteries.
Want to show us on that TF there?
Yeah, absolutely.
AMSEC safe.
So depending on the manufacturer, some push in, up, and off. This one is actually a quarter turn. You got it right there. And your battery's right there. You just replace it. There's a non-volatile chip in the door, so your code remains safe when changing the battery.
What happens if the lock dies completely and replacing the batteries doesn't fix the problem?
Well, then we talk to the manufacturer and see if there is some kind of alternative way to get in, but typically it's going to require a certified locksmith.
It is surprising how often there's weird little tricks that the manufacturer has to get them to work, though.
Right, yeah. The last thing we really want to do is have a certified locksmith because of the cost. They may have to drill it out, which means they're going to have to replace the hole that made as well as the lock, but that sometimes is what it is.
Do you have a preferred digital lock?
I like the SNG series. The Spartan is great. I think the ESL 10 locks by American Security, really good as well. You'll find those listed usually in the top 5 of all electronic locks.
How about the pros and cons of a dial combination lock?
The pros are it's not electronic, no electronics to go bad, no batteries. Con is it does take a lot longer. It's not like our old high school locker where you kind of turn it a couple of times and you're in. This literally takes 4 to 5 revolutions counterclockwise on most of them, then back 3, 2, and then 1. So does take a lot longer. Also needs to be well lit area so that you can actually see, because you have to be exactly on the numbers.
But the reliability is there.
Yes.
What is the difference between a Group 2 and a Group 2M dial combination lock?
So Group 2, 2M, they're both UL approved locks. The M actually is for manipulation. It's been tested for 2 hours. It is more secure, I believe, but not a lot of manufacturers offer that. But if they do, that's a good choice.
How does a key locking dial work?
So key locking dial, we have one here. So a lot of people think, oh, wow, cool. I've got the dial combination to get in and a key, which is not correct. It actually only prevents the dial from turning. So it locks the dial in place. You go on vacation, you lock it. Even if somebody knows the code, they can't get into it.
It's kind of dual control.
Dual control as well, yes.
And it's a good thing the key doesn't open it.
It is a
Because
very
that wouldn't
good
be very secure,
Yeah.
I guess. Do any companies offer redundant locks on gun safes?
They do. A couple of years ago, it was like the new crave. Everybody wanted them, and then they realized one of the manufacturers didn't do the greatest job. Holland and Fort Knox offer redundant, which basically means electronic and dial.
And on the Fort Knox, that's actually 2 separate locks. It's actually like an electronic lock, and then there's a backup dial combination lock.
Which that's awesome right there.
Yep, that's awesome. If you could have any lock configuration on your personal gun safe, what would it be?
You know, I'm getting older, so I think biometric is out unless it's on my pistol safe, but on a regular gun safe, long gun safe, I'm going to say just an electronic lock, either the SNG Spartan or ESL 10.
Can you explain what a fire rating on a gun safe actually means?
So fire rating basically means that whatever temperature, whether it be 1200 or 1600 degrees, that's basically the oven that they put this safe in. For if it's, let's say, 30-minute fire rating, the interior of the safe never went over 350 degrees, which is where paper starts to burn.
So if it was a 90-minute rating at 1200 degrees, it could survive 90 minutes in a 1200 degree room, and your paper goods would still be good on the inside.
Correct. The internal part of the safe inside would never go over 350.
What is the minimum fire rating you would recommend?
I try to recommend to our customers 1 hour if you're within city limits, basically not too far away from a fire department. If you're outside of the city limits and not close to a fire department, 2 hours.
What is the highest fire rating that we offer on a gun safe?
2 hours.
I think Winchester has a 2.5.
Do they?
They do. But it's not like an ETL or something like on the BFX.
Right.
So that your mileage may vary potentially. Right. Can you explain what a CDOJ rating is?
Absolutely. So CDOJ is California Department of Justice, basically saying that we've got a box that has a lock on it and it's okay to store firearms.
And how about a UL RSC rating like I'm looking at here?
So the RSC rating is residential security container. It is tested for 5 minutes on the door. Considered, especially in gun safes, a very good rating.
Based on the description, an RSC doesn't sound super secure. Are there RSC rated safes out there that you would consider super secure?
BFX, I think, does a great job. The BF2.
You have one over there?
We've got one here. We can open it up and have a look at it. They do a great fire rated safe and burglar rated. I would feel very comfortable in putting firearms or money, gold, precious metals, jewelry.
Because this safe here actually weighs, or it's close to the same size as this Browning, which also has an RSC rating, but that BFX weighs twice as much.
Exactly. And that BFX is a beast, let me tell you. There's the Browning. It's nice.
Do you offer any gun safes with a rating higher than an RSC rating?
We do. There's actually a couple TL30 ratings, which is tool time for 30 minutes. So now you're really secure. You can put the Mona Lisa in there and it'll be safe.
Is that AMSEC?
AMSEC, yep.
And TL30x6? How important is steel thickness on a gun safe?
Very, very important. You got to figure that most burglars or crooks trying to get into them, they think they can go through the door when some of them are going to try to go through the sides. So taking a grinder, the thicker the steel, the harder it is to get into it. And hopefully they're going to use a lot of blades and it's going to take them a lot of time. Lowest
steel thickness someone should look for is probably like a 12 gauge. Ideally thicker than that though?
Ideally, yes. I mean, if you can get, the thicker the better. I mean, you're adding more time and more difficulty into getting into the safe.
But you get down to 14 gauge and that's like Walmart stuff.
It is, but again, it's better than putting it in a shoebox or underneath the bed in nothing. So something's better than nothing.
Totally. Is there power on the inside of gun safes?
There are in some, and they're not on others. Power is good. You can have a dehumidifier. You can have a light. You can have it plugged in. You can have USB in there as well. You can charge your phone. I had a guy the other day say he charges his phone in a safe. Why he does it, I don't know, but whatever.
What are most people using the power for, would you think?
Like I said, the dehumidifier, light, if you wanted to charge your phone, a computer, you use it for whatever you want.
Customer orders a gun safe. How long does it typically take for them to receive it?
That really depends on what the estimated time is by the manufacturer, where they are in the country. Usually our times on the website are very accurate, but nothing is 100%. And then you have to add the transit time, which pretty much anywhere we say 5 to 7 business days from terminal to you.
How much does shipping typically cost?
Well, it costs us a lot of money, but it costs you nothing.
That's what really matters, I guess. How the heck do people get these things into their houses?
Well, that's interesting because depending on the size and the weight, it can be very difficult. We can recommend local installers, professionals. I would say most of the time that's the best bet. They're not going to damage the safe or you or your home.
Is it really necessary to bolt your gun safe down?
I don't know if it's necessary, but it's highly recommended. The main reason is these guys breaking into your home think if they tip it over, they can get better leverage on the door. Not necessarily true, but everything we can do to make it more difficult for them to break in or even steal it, bolting it down is always recommended.
Because if you could get it in, someone could get it out.
Exactly.
Yep. Who are the top gun safe manufacturers in your opinion, and why?
That is a loaded question, and I'm going to say American Security, their BFX and BF2s are amazing, good ratings. They've also got the NF, the T, there's quite a few different options. Fort Knox is amazing. They've got great colors. If you're looking for something to stand out in a room, or you're putting this in the vault room, awesome. Again, good ratings. I really like Stealth. I think Stealth has a great burglar rating and fire rating on their UL series, and it's a very popular choice.
I just want to give some Browning love. They have the best interiors.
They do, and the rack on the door is very popular. I very rarely get feedback that it's bad on that. It's nice to be able to put your most used guns on here, so it frees up the area in there. If you already own a gun safe, you know that 9 out of 10 times you open the door, the gun that you need is in the way back, and you've got to move everything out.
Yep.
In this scenario, you have it right there.
I think that's why people buy those, probably.
Exactly.
What is the largest gun safe you would recommend?
I would say the Stealth UL 50. It's quite large, quite heavy. I think it's going to accommodate the needs of most people. Anything bigger than that, you might as well go with a vault door and make a vault room, because then you got a ton of space.
Kind of a better value at that point.
Absolutely.
The smallest gun safe you would recommend?
I like the UL 14 by Stealth. I think it's got a good burglar rating, 1 hour fire. I go with that all day.
Best value gun safe on the market, in your opinion?
For the value, I'm going to say, gosh, it's a tough one. The NF series by American Security.
Yep.
Right here. Great burglar rating, good fire rating, comes with an electrical outlet, comes with their ESL 10 lock. I have no problem selling that and recommending that 100%.
1/4-inch plate door.
Yep.
The most overpriced gun safe on the market?
That's a tough one.
It's kind of shooting ourselves in the foot because we sell almost all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I don't know. The BF2s are extremely high priced. Are you getting what you're paying for? Yes. Is it necessary? If you've got the money, spend it. I think for most people, it's up here that's not reachable.
I think it's when you start doing all the bells and the whistles, like the candied paint jobs and stuff. That's where, to me, it starts to feel like maybe it's a bit overpriced.
Right.
But
right.
again, if I had the money, yeah,
Exactly.
it probably would be. So, is there a decent gun safe on the market that's $1,000 or less?
You know, there's a couple of choices. The main point here is that something's better than nothing. So if you've got to spend $600, $700, $800, $900, it's better than nothing. That's where we would start, but then we can move up to something that would be more secure.
What gun safe would you recommend to someone who has a budget of $2,500?
Well, I would probably go back to the Stealth UL 50. It's a little bit higher than 2,500, 26, 27, but sometimes maybe it goes on sale. High quality safe.
What would you recommend to someone who has a $5,000 budget?
5,000. Now we're talking good money. I would say the Fort Knox Maverick 6637, just under $5,000. Great burglar, great fire, great safe.
What would your dream gun safe be?
I like the BFXs. I like their burglar rating. I like their fire rating. I think they're awesome inside. You can even have options to put stuff on the door. They got a mirror. BFX by American Security, USA made.
And what would your dream gun safe be full of?
Well, my guns, my watch collection, probably a little money, and then paperwork, passports, birth certificates. I'm sure that I could find a lot of stuff.
A couple of gold bars, maybe?
I'm working on it.
Cool. That's actually all the questions we had on the list.
Awesome. Well, thank you for watching, and hopefully this helps. If not, give us a call.
If you think of anything else, put it in the comments.
You got it.